Hi folks, today we'll be looking at 3D software and how it can be very useful in making comics. The software we're going to be looking at is called SketchUp. It's free and it's very easy to use. You don't need to be a genius to use it. So why are 3D models useful? It saves you time and effort if you can create a scene or an element, such as a building, an interior or a spaceship, which can then be used as a source of images. For example, if your comic is set in space, your characters will be flying around in a spaceship. They'll probably be spending a lot of time in the main control room of that spaceship. Now you can draw this room again and again for each panel of your comic, trying to keep it consistent each time, or you can create a 3D model once, which can then be used as a source of unlimited two-dimensional snapshots. Once you've created your model, you can move around inside it to get different angles for different scenes. So as you can see, this is very useful. SketchUp can be used in two different ways. You can log on to their website and create an account there. You create your models in your web browser and save them online. The second option is to download SketchUp to your computer and work on your models offline. Both options are free. I personally prefer to use the second option. To do this, you need to download the 2017 version of SketchUp Make, which was the last downloadable free version of the software. The link for that is below and in the description for this video. Okay, let's open it up and have a look. So here's your workspace. This human figure is a reference point for proportions. The green ground and blue sky give you an intuitive orientation of up and down. These coloured lines here are the axes showing you the basic three dimensions. Blue is vertical, pointing up to the blue sky. Red is width, green is depth. You can move around this workspace using your mouse. The middle mouse button, or scroll wheel, allows you to zoom in and out. To move more freely, select the Orbit tool. Now click and hold the left mouse button as you move and your viewpoint will hover freely around the space. To shift your viewpoint away from the centre, use the Pan tool. Again, click and hold the left mouse button and you can pan left, right, up and down. Creating 3D objects is very simple. Select the Rectangle tool here. Pick a point on the ground and hold down the left mouse button. Now hold it as you drag away from it diagonally. Let go of the button and you have your rectangle. Now select the Push-Pull tool. Hover it over the rectangle you have created. Click and hold the left mouse button and pull it up. Now you have a three-dimensional block. That was pretty easy, wasn't it? See what else you can do. Anywhere you hover your mouse pointer over any of these surfaces, the surface becomes highlighted by these shading dots. Once highlighted, it can be pushed or pulled, changing the shape of the object. Okay, I'm now going to make this block into a broad, flat floor. Using the Rectangle tool again, I'll mark out where the walls will be. Using the Push-Pull, I can raise up the walls and make them any height I like. So now we have a basic room. I've given it only 2 walls to make it easy to move around in, but you could give it 3 or 4 if you wanted. Remember, this is being created purely as a source of 2D images. It's just a backdrop. Now it's looking a bit bland, so let's add some colour. Select the Paint Bucket tool and it opens a box with a colour wheel. Select the colour and its saturation by moving the pointer around in this circle. You can make the colour lighter or darker with the slider underneath. But there is more. If you select Texture Palettes, this little brick icon, you get a whole library of more complex textures. From the drop-down list, select a category. Let's go for Tile. Pick a pattern that you would like and click it onto the floor. Simple. Choose a pattern for the walls in the same way. But this doesn't look very sci-fi, does it? Let's pick some metal textures. Now I want to add some more features, but first of all, let's get that human figure back. He comes in handy sometimes for getting the proportions right. Select the Move tool and move him into the room. We want to make sure his feet are touching the floor. We don't want him floating in midair, so click on his feet and drag him over. When you see this little note that says On Face, you know he's placed correctly. Okay, let's create a desk. Rectangle tool, pick a new texture. Now as you can see, I don't have to select the Bucket tool. SketchUp knows what I want to do as soon as I pick a new texture. push-pull to pull it up. I want it to be the right height, which would be just below this guy's waist. So I'll move the pointer to the level where I want it to start moving. And then click again to finish. Now to make this hollow, I use the rectangle to mark out the edges and then push-pull to create the hollow space. Let's put something interesting on this desk. Let's make a big view screen. I'll make a border and then I want to add an image on the screen. File, Import. Make sure all supported image types is selected. Select the image you want and now you have it attached to your mouse pointer. Click the top left of the area where you want to insert this image and drag it down to the opposite corner where you want it to be. Let go of the mouse button and it's done. To save your model, save as and give it a name. Now save the image, File, Export as 2D graphic. Give it a name. In SketchUp it'll only export as a .jpg file. Change the angle and export again, giving it a different name. Now you have two images of the exact same object, but from slightly different angles. So now you have a backdrop for your characters. Let's remove this marker guy and put our own character in there. I've exported another snapshot of the 3D model and I'll open it in GIMP. I'll also open this image of a character I made earlier. Select the character and select all. Then edit, copy. Now go to the backdrop image and edit, paste as, new layer. If it's the wrong size, undo. Go back to the character image and image, scale image. Overwrite the height and press enter, then scale. To remove the background colour of the character, go to the Select by Colour tool. Click on the background colour, which is dark green here. You'll see the marching ants outline the area where it finds that colour. Now edit, clear. Use the Move tool to reposition your character. Don't worry about these ghost outlines here, they'll not be part of the saved image. To eliminate them, select None. The character still has a border around him, but this will not be visible either. Over here you have the layers box. Your image now consists of two layers, the original background image underneath and the character image on top. If I select the lower layer, the border of the top layer disappears. Now save this image just like you did before. Save it as .xcf and then export it, File, Export as, a .jpg or a .png. Remember, the XCF will not display on a web page, but a JPEG and a PNG will. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.